Did you know that Machiavelli documented exactly 9 female vulnerabilities you can leverage to have any woman eating out of the palm of your hand? While most men beg for attention like starving dogs, those who know these secrets have women begging for theirs. These vulnerabilities are so profound, they're etched into their DNA, and when you leverage them correctly, they can't resist, even if they wanted to. You see the first vulnerability every day, but you don't know how to use it. The 9th is so potent it can make a woman leave everything for you in under 30 days. And the most dangerous one, well, I'll reveal that at the end because it can literally change your life forever. Have you ever wondered why a woman might spend hours perfecting a photo for Instagram? The answer lies in the first vulnerability Machiavelli identified: her desperate addiction to external validation. And this is where most men make the biggest mistake of their lives. You see, women are biologically wired to constantly seek approval. Every like, every comment, every compliment triggers the same pleasure centers in their brain as a drug. It's literally a chemical addiction. And when you understand this, you gain the power to control their supply. The trap 95% of men fall into is giving them free validation as if it were tap water. You like all her photos, tell her she looks beautiful every day, shower her with compliments hoping she'll reciprocate. But brother, that's where you completely messed up. When you give constant validation, her brain gets used to it. She no longer needs to strive for your attention because it's guaranteed. You become that guy who's always there, predictable and boring, and women don't fall in love with the predictable. They fall for what they can't control. Here comes the Machiavellian strategy that will change your game forever. Become the dealer of her favorite drug, but control the dosage. When she posts a photo seeking validation, don't be the first to like it. Let her wait. When she tells you about an achievement, don't shower her with immediate praise. Say something like, "That's interesting," and change the subject. This isn't about being a jerk, it's about being strategic. You're creating scarcity of something she desperately needs. And when you finally give her that validation she craves, it becomes pure gold to her. A simple, "You look incredible," from you will be worth more than 100 comments from other guys. The key is timing and intensity. Give validation when she's truly earned it, when she's done something you genuinely admire, but do it unexpectedly, when she least expects it. This way, you create what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that makes slot machines addictive. Look, if you really want to master this game and discover the other 8 vulnerabilities that can make any woman obsess over you, like this video and subscribe to the channel, because what's coming next is even more powerful. And I only share it with those who are truly committed to changing their love lives. But be warned, because once you master this first vulnerability, there's no turning back. Women will start behaving differently around you. They'll seek your attention in ways you never imagined. And that leads us to the second vulnerability, one so subtle that most men don't even know it exists. But when you master it, you can literally make a woman unable to get you out of her head for a single second of the day. That second vulnerability I promised you is so lethal, it can make a woman stay awake all night thinking about you, checking her phone every 5 minutes, waiting for your message. It's called uncertainty, and it's the most powerful psychological weapon at your disposal. Here's the brutal truth no one tells you. Predictability kills passion faster than a bucket of cold water. When a woman knows exactly what to expect from you, when you'll reply, what you'll say, where you'll take her, her brain literally shuts down. Routine is the mortal enemy of attraction. Why do you think women obsess over men who treat them poorly? It's not masochism, it's pure biology. Their female brain is designed to be attracted to the unpredictable, to what it can't completely control. It's a survival instinct dating back to caveman times. The male who couldn't be predicted was the strongest, the most valuable, the one who could best protect her. Most men make the mistake of becoming too available, too quickly. They respond immediately, plan predictable dates, share every detail of their lives. They think that by being an open book, they'll build trust. But all they generate is deadly boredom. Machiavelli said it perfectly. It's better to be feared than loved. But the ideal is to be unpredictable. And this is where the strategy that will completely revolutionize your game comes in. First, break your communication patterns. If you normally reply in 5 minutes, sometimes reply in 2 hours without explanation. If you always plan romantic dinners, suddenly take her somewhere completely unexpected. This isn't about being a jerk. It's about keeping her mind working, guessing, imagining. Second, control the information you share. Don't tell her every detail of your day. Leave gaps in your story. When she asks what you did yesterday, don't say, "I went to work, then the gym, then watched Netflix." Say something like, "I had an interesting day," and change the subject. Her imagination will fill those empty spaces, and believe me, her imagination will work in your favor. Third, use the power of strategic absence. Disappear for short periods, unannounced. Not every day, but unpredictably. When you return, don't explain where you were. Just say, "Hello, beautiful," as if nothing happened. That uncertainty about your time and attention will drive her crazy. The key here is balance. You can't be completely unpredictable, because that becomes chaos. But you also can't be completely predictable, because that becomes boredom. You need that constant tension between, "I know he likes me," and, "But I don't know what he's going to do next." When you master this uncertainty, something magical will start to happen. She'll begin to pursue you subtly. She'll message you more often, initiate more conversations, find excuses to see you. Her brain will interpret your unpredictability as high value, and women always pursue what they perceive as valuable. But here comes something even more powerful, something that combines perfectly with uncertainty. It's a skill very few men possess, but when you develop it, you can literally read her soul and make her feel completely understood and connected to you. It's what masters of seduction call the emotional mirror. And when you combine it with the primal fear all women secretly carry, you'll have an absolutely devastating power of attraction. That devastating power I mentioned is based on 2 vulnerabilities that work together like an emotional nuclear bomb: the emotional mirror and her deepest fear of replacement. When you combine them correctly, you can literally make a woman feel like you're the only person in the world who truly understands her. Let's start with the emotional mirror, a technique so powerful that therapists charge thousands for teaching it. Here's the secret. When you can name exactly what a woman is feeling before she even says it herself, you activate a neurological connection that releases oxytocin directly into her bloodstream. It's like injecting her with trust and attraction. Most men, when they see an upset woman, do one of 2 foolish things. Either they ignore her, hoping it will pass, or they immediately try to fix the problem. But you're going to do something completely different. You're going to become her perfect emotional mirror. When you see her quiet or tense, don't ask, "What's wrong?" like everyone else. Instead, observe her body language, her tone of voice, the tension in her face, and then say something like, "I see you're frustrated because you feel like no one is understanding what you really need." Boom, her reaction will be immediate. "Exactly." How did you know? When you name exactly what she's feeling, her brain thinks, "This guy sees me, he really understands me." And that feeling of being seen and understood is more addictive to a woman than any drug. You'll be the only man in her life who truly connects with her deepest emotions. But here comes the most Machiavellian part. Once you establish that deep emotional connection, you're going to activate her most powerful primal fear, the absolute terror of replacement. Every woman, without exception, carries this fear in her DNA, the possibility that another man will come along and steal your attention. This fear dates back to primitive times when women depended completely on men for survival. If he left them for another, they literally died. Although it's no longer a matter of physical survival, that instinct is still engraved in her reptilian brain. And when you know how to subtly activate it, she will do everything possible to make sure you never leave her. The strategy is simple but devastating. After creating that deep emotional connection, you introduce very subtle elements of competition. Don't talk about other women directly, that's amateurish. Instead, casually mention that you have plans with some friends, that you have an important meeting, that someone invited you to something interesting. When she asks for details, be vague. Oh, nothing important, just work. But let your body language and energy say the opposite. That incongruence will trigger her alert system. Her brain will start filling in the blanks with her own fears. Who is he with? Will there be other women? Is he losing interest in me? The real power of this technique lies in the timing. First, you make her feel completely seen and understood with the emotional mirror. Then, when she's at her most vulnerable and connected to you, you introduce uncertainty about your availability. It's like giving her the purest drug she's ever tried, and then suggesting it might not always be available. Her reaction will be immediate. She'll start texting you more, seek more time with you, do things to impress you that she didn't do before. Not because you're manipulative, but because you've activated her deepest instincts to secure what she perceives as valuable. So far, we've covered the addiction to validation, the power of uncertainty, emotional mirrors, and the fear of replacement. But brother, if you think this is strong, wait for what's next, because the following vulnerabilities touch something even deeper: her desperate need to feel secure with a man who has true masculine presence. And when you master this, you won't just have her attraction, you'll have her respect and her complete devotion. We've arrived at the moment of truth, brother. The vulnerabilities I'm about to reveal to you are so profound. They touch the very core of what women seek in a man. They are the weapons that separate common men from those who possess an absolutely irresistible magnetic power. The fifth vulnerability is her desperate need for emotional security. But here's the trick that 99% of men don't understand. They're not looking for someone to protect them from the outside world. They're looking for someone to protect them from their own internal emotional chaos. They need a man to be their rock when they become a hurricane. When a woman is in the midst of an emotional storm, yelling, crying, creating drama, your reaction in those first 30 seconds determines whether she will respect you forever or lose respect for you forever. Most men collapse. They get nervous, start apologizing, try to calm her with desperate words. Fatal error. Here's what you're going to do instead. You become absolute calm in the midst of her storm. Lower your voice, relax your body, look her directly in the eyes, and with unwavering presence tell her, "I understand you're hurting. I'm here, nothing more." Your calm energy will be like a magnet that instantly soothes her. This emotional containment you demonstrate activates something primitive in her brain. Her instinct tells her, "This man can handle my worst version without breaking. If he can handle this, he can handle anything." And that feeling of security with your emotional strength makes her addicted to your presence. But here comes the sixth vulnerability, and this one is devastating: her extreme sensitivity to social status. I'm not just talking about money, brother. I'm talking about that aura of respect that some men project effortlessly. That presence that makes waiters, employees, friends, even strangers unconsciously treat you differently. Women have highly developed radars for detecting your social position. They observe how you behave in a restaurant, how you speak to the Uber driver, how other men react to your presence. If they detect you have low status, their attraction plummets. If they detect high status, their attraction skyrockets. The key here isn't to pretend you're something you're not. It's to develop true masculine presence. Speak less, but with more weight. Walk with purpose. Never apologize for taking up space. When you enter a place, do it as if you own it. That silent confidence and commanding presence will make her feel proud to be with you. And now, for the seventh vulnerability, the most dangerous of all, how they react when you reflect their own words back at them. Women say things all the time. I hate lies. Loyalty is the most important thing. I can't stand being ignored. But then they act inconsistently with their own statements. Here's the strategy that will completely disarm her. Store those statements in your memory. When she acts contrary to what she said, calmly and without aggression, repeat her own words back to her. You told me honesty was the most important thing to you. How does that fit with what you just did? That gentle but direct confrontation with her own contradictions will create a cognitive dissonance that will leave her speechless. Her brain will panic because she realizes you're paying attention on a level other men don't. And that detailed attention to her words and actions will make her feel completely exposed and, paradoxically, more attracted to you. But the eighth vulnerability is what ties everything together: the scarcity of true masculine energy. We live in an era where most men have lost their masculine essence. They're insecure, constantly seeking approval, and don't make firm decisions. When a woman encounters a man who genuinely possesses solid masculine presence, it's like finding water in the desert. This masculine energy isn't aggression or toxic dominance. It's unwavering calm, the ability to make decisions without hesitation, that presence that says, "I've got this," without needing words. When you develop this presence, women are naturally drawn to it because it activates their deepest femininity. And we arrive at the ninth and final vulnerability, the one that can make a woman leave everything for you: your unwavering self-respect. This means having non-negotiable standards and the willingness to walk away from any situation, even from an incredible woman, if she doesn't respect those standards. When a woman sees that you have the power to leave, that you don't desperately need her approval or her presence, her respect for you multiplies exponentially because she realizes that being with you is a privilege, not a right. And that realization will make her value you in a way you've never experienced before. These are the 9 vulnerabilities Machiavelli would have used in the modern game of love. But remember, brother, with great power comes great responsibility. Use these strategies to create authentic connections and powerful relationships, not to hurt or manipulate. Because at the end of the day, true masculine power is about elevating both yourself and the woman by your side. There you have it, brother. 9 female vulnerabilities that Machiavelli would have used to dominate the modern game of love. From controlling their addiction to validation, to developing an unwavering self-respect that makes them value you as the prize you truly are. But here's the final truth. These are not cheap manipulations. They are principles of natural attraction that work because they respect the deepest female psychology. When you apply them with integrity, you don't just get the woman you want. You become the man you deserve to be. If you really want to master your love life and develop that magnetic presence that makes women seek you out, subscribe to the channel and like this video, because I have more secrets of masculine psychology that will completely change the way you relate to women forever.